Well, a very good morning from outside the High Court premises here in Gulu, where we expect the Arua 34 to be appearing for the hearing of their bail application before the resident judge of the Gulu High Court, Justice Stephen Mubiru. And so, unlike the last time we were here, when the court premises looked normal, we have seen security boosting deployment around here. And if we can just get there to show you what the movement plan is like, Simon, I beg your pardon, from where these suspects are walking through. Actually, the road has been cordoned off. Only people who are coming to court are being allowed to access this part of the road. And so vehicles for people who are not conducting court-related businesses actually stop as far as where the traffic officers are down there, and even the prisoners who are coming to court for sessions or involving their cases have to walk into the court premises. And unlike the last time again, we'll actually see a lot of checking here. If I can just have a quick chat with part of the delegation coming in from Kampala. We see Dr. Abed Bwanika, one of the people who have just come. If I can just have a quick chat. A very good morning to you. Yeah. A lot of people have actually been asking, where have you been in all this?
Oh, I've been around. I've been in all these things. I've been at the center. Okay. Yes.
And so people are also asking, since the arrest of the Honorable Bobi Wine, what became of people power? A lot of people seem to think you ducked under the bed and took cover.
No, I didn't take cover. I was part of the team that organized the team to go to Arua. But that particular day, I wasn't in the country. We had another mission outside the country. I came in on that particular night when they arrested our teams. But I've been part of the team.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's speak to one of the candidates who contested with the Honorable Kasiano Wadri, Mr. Robert Ejiko. A very good morning to you. And a lot of people would be asking, what business do you have in Gulu today?
No, I've come to Gulu to witness a process, I think, which is fair. This court process to release Wadri and my sister Sarah and all the other people, the 30 people, 31 I think. And I think when we go into political contestations, we do not just go because we want the power that comes with it. We go in there because we respect the process of democracy. And today, I have come in here to say, please, it never got to this in the first place. We went into a process. It was so fair up to the end. We stopped the rigging. We did everything that we could have done. But for it to turn into a treason trial and stuff, no. Okay. Not again. Okay. We're not going into this violence.
Okay. You're a politician in Arua. One would ask, what is the situation on the ground?
I'm not really a politician.
Okay, you were involved in the political process. What is the situation like on the ground now?
Arua is calm. Arua is looking up to representation, and we need that now. We need Arua to be represented, Arua municipality to be represented. And whether it comes through Wadri or it comes through anybody else, it must happen. We can go through this court process, but seriously speaking, let's make it fast and we end this. Okay. First, we need to get Wadri sworn in. He was the duly elected person, and we will start from there.
Okay. That's quite a strange stand for a lot of people in the politics of this country. What gives you that kind of belief? What makes you take that direction?
I'm a Democrat. I respect these processes. And I know for a fact that we can do a lot as a country if we respect these processes. And it has to start with someone. It now starts with me. It now starts with me. As a Democrat, when we go through a fair process, you allow that to happen.
All right. Thank you very much. Simon, Mr. Robert Ejiko was one of the candidates in the just concluded Arua municipality elections. He has come to stand in solidarity with his leaders, with his elected leaders, saying democracy demands that when people speak, you respect their voices. He is one of the many people coming to stand with the Arua 34 in the hearing of the bail application here. And we see a lot of people coming through from Kampala, from the political field, especially from the opposition. If I can just speak to the chair of the Public Accounts Committee here, the Honorable Angelina Osege of the FDC. A very good morning to you, Honorable. A lot of people would be asking, what brings you to Gulu this morning? What do you think your presence adds to the process?
You know, whenever anybody is in a problem, you need comfort, you need moral support, you need whatever you can get. I believe our colleagues this morning need our presence. Our very presence will give them encouragement, given the situation they have been placed into. So we are here this morning hoping that they will be given bail and to stand surety for them to make sure that we get them out.
Okay. How has this impacted on the political activities of those of you, especially in the opposition?
It has only emboldened us. It has made us stronger. It has made us have more resolve, because we know that unless we go to the highest tip, we will never get what we desire to get, even as a country. We have to endure it, we have to be strong, and we will be strong.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Angelina Osege, woman member of Parliament for Soroti District and chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee. Now, the prison bus is actually making its way right here. It looks like the Arua 34 aboard this particular bus, Simon. The Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, the Honorable Paul Mwiru, and all the other MPs who are incarcerated, and as well as the other people who were arrested with them. And you can hear them shouting, "People power, our power." They're actually right there aboard that bus. If we can just show you the people who will be coming off this particular prison bus. It looks like the people we have been waiting for have actually just reached here. Of course, you hear the shout of "People power, our power," slogan associated with the Chadondo East Member of Parliament, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, and the race that he has been running in the politics of this country. And so right there, you see them actually emerging from the prison bus. Now, the last time we were here, there was no bus to transport them, but now we hear the bus has been found. Let's hear to what they have to say.
What's wrong? We are the youth. People. It's a people power. People power. We are going to fight for our freedom. We are going to fight until the last minute of our freedom. We want our freedom. People power.
And right there, Simon, you actually see some of the Arua 34 shouting, "People free, power, our power." And that is the team that we have been waiting for, the bus that was not available the last time because they were transported aboard a prison lorry. But today, Simon, we actually see them actually, coming aboard the bus. Let's listen into what they are chanting through the bus.
People power. Our power. Our power. People power. People power. Our power. Our power. People power. People power. Our power.
Indeed, the word "people power, our power" continues to sound through the prison bus, the windows, and of course you see some of the people there who last time came to court not in good shape. One of the ladies who were experiencing the results of torture in the hands of the security agencies coming out of the prison bus right there. We're waiting to see if the members of Parliament are also aboard this particular bus. But of course, the last time, Simon, if you remember very well, there was no even prison bus to talk about in the first place. We were seeing the suspects actually aboard a prison lorry making their way right here. And so that is Sarah Knight, one of the people who the last time were experiencing grave repercussions of torture. She came to court bleeding through the private parts the last time, and it is one of those images that continued to trend through social and as well as mainstream media. And then we have, actually I can see through the bus, I see the Honorable Paul Mwiru, and so it appears all the MPs are actually in here, and you see the lady there now moving on clutches. She was arrested on her feet. She was one of those who played a formidable role in the elect Wadri Kasiano task force, but today she comes to court on clutches, and of course some of the things that have been raising questions on how people who left on their feet actually return in that condition. I think a conversation we will have for another day, but today, if you've just joined us, welcome to a comprehensive broadcast of actually, and right there, the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, Member of Parliament, Chadondo East, walking through there, still on clutches. One of the people again who left Arua on his 2 feet, but returns to court in that situation, coming in for the hearing of his bail application, and that is the man who has kept the country on political tenterhooks for the last couple of days, a man who transformed from a musician to actually a political leader, and someone who has since been called a force to reckon with in the politics of the country. He emerges out of the prison bus there, again moving with the help of clutches. He left on his 2 feet and returns in that situation. We'll be looking forward to the submissions of the lawyers in regard to what they have to say, but right there is the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, Member of Parliament for Chadondo East, also coming off aboard the prison bus right there. Still,
Bobi.
he cannot move without support right there. And right there, beckoning back that he will be strong. And then Mr. Sewufu, who was arrested at the Tally Center, and the Honorable Mike Mabike, former Member of Parliament for March India East, also part of the Arua 34, they all move into the holding center. And right there, the Honorable Chagulanyi talks to Councillor Asman Basal, a Member of Parliament, Wadri Municipality, but also one of the lawyers representing the Arua 34 in this case. And the next person coming off the bus is the bodyguard to the Honorable Kasiano Wadri. Again, another person who left on his feet, but also is emerging out of the bus on clutches. And I think that's the conversation the nation will be having in the next couple of days, how people have been handled in the hands of the security agencies. They were handed to the prison authorities in that kind of situation. And so that gentleman right there is actually the bodyguard to the Honorable Kasiano Wadri. He was arrested together with his principal and has not been, the last time he came to court, he was not actually able to stand. He again comes back to court on clutches, in pain. You can see the look on his face right there, the difficult situation in which most of the suspects arrested in Arua are in. And again, the question a lot of us from the press have been asking, what happened to these people? Who will explain how they got into this situation? Someone who left on their 2 feet, who left in very good conditions, were arrested by officers of the Special Forces Command, the elite force in charge of the presidential security, and again, they return in this situation. And right after the Honorable Kasiano's bodyguard is the Honorable Gerard Karuhanga, Member of Parliament in Tungamo Municipality, Vice Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, one of those arrested in Arua, and they are facing charges of treason. They come for the hearing of their bail application, and many more other people who were arrested together with them right there, totaling 234. For them, they were charged straight in the Chief Magistrate's Court, unlike the Honorable Chagulanyi, who went through a process in the Military General Court Martial before the case was terminated. The Honorable Paul Muiru, Member of Parliament, Ginger East as well, right there. He left in good shape, but returns again with the arm tied to the neck. Probably something again there happened to him in the process. And the man who has not yet been able to celebrate his victory, the Honorable Kasiano Wadri, a Member of Parliament for Arua Municipality, right there, trying to greet one of his political opponents, the people he competed with. But right there, the Honorable Kasiano Wadri hasn't been able to celebrate his victory. He is facing treason charges for allegedly attempting to take, or rather to harm the person of the president, according to the charge sheet that was read in court right here. Their lawyer, the Honorable Asman Basal, was standing by here to actually receive them. And so we continue to bring you the state in which the different suspects are coming out. Most of them are actually on clutches. Most of them cannot stand or walk on their own. I think the big question that the Chief of Defense Forces, General David Muhoozi, and the Police Chief, Martin Okoth Ochola, will be needing to give answers to is how these people got in this state, because the presumption of innocence before guilt also demands that somebody, is treated as a suspect until they are convicted and a proper judicial process is actually instituted and they are sentenced by an impartial court of law. But most of the people emerging out of this bus can hardly walk. And you can just see from the images on your screen there, Simon and Mildred, again, the images continuing to depict the situation in which these people are. A few of them able to walk on their feet, but many of them on crutches, and many of them not able to move without support. The Honorable Kyagulanyi there, still in a state that he has to be supported to walk into court. The Honorable Paul Miro as well, with looks like he had issues with his arm there. And this suspect as well, you can see, cannot walk properly. They are limping into the courtroom. They will be hoping that the Justice Stephen Mubiru will be hearing their plea and granting them temporary relief and to be able to reconcile with their families and to do the different works that they have been doing on a normal day. And so for now, Simon, they go into the holding center, and then we will be waiting for 9 a.m. when the hearing of the bail application before the resident judge of the Gulu High Court here. And remember, the case comes up for mention before the Chief Magistrate's Court on the 30th of this month, and probably by that time, if investigations are complete, then probably they will be committed to the High Court for trial, because what we know is that the Chief Magistrate's Court does not have jurisdiction to actually hear this particular case, because treason is a capital offense, Simon and Mildred. And so we will be waiting for them on the other side when they appear in the dock at 9 a.m. That's when we expect the court proceedings to be starting, Simon.
Well, Joseph Sabiti, thank you very much. And that's one story that we're going to be keeping tabs on. It's trending. It's really creating a serious conversation. And during the topical discussion, we'll also be looking at the legal perspective to this current situation with the president. But Joseph Sabiti, again, when you look at lawyers, I see a team of lawyers. Probably you could furnish us with their names. Let's get to know some of them.
Well, Simon, I can see the Honorable Asman Basalira giving Counsel Caleb Balaka a hug, and then we have Kenneth Paul Kakande and Samuel Moizi, part of the legal team. If I can just have a conversation with one of the lawyers. A very good morning to you, Counsel. A lot of people would be asking, the last time you were not here, what gives you the motivation to join this case?
No. You've seen the condition in which these people are in. And we have that clarion call. If we don't do it, then I'm telling you, these things will be done to even our kids. Okay. Yeah, we can't be comfortable in our offices when there are such gross abuses of human rights and all these unfolding. When during our times, we can't sit back. Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking a very interesting question. When the Honorable Kyagulanyi and others were arrested, there was the talk of this gun, which was allegedly recovered from the Pacific Hotel. And all of a sudden, the gun talk has disappeared. A lot of us don't understand the legal issues. What would you say about that?
That shows you the context in which this case is. It's a total fabrication. We shall not comment about it. We're going to see what evidence they will disclose to us. But as far as we are concerned, we expected also that gun to be around, or even that car which was stone should have been exhibited. Where is it? And where is the stone? All these things we shall question them. Where is the car? Has it undergone IOV? Where is it parked? Is it at CID headquarters? But these are issues we shall look at when we reach that level.
Okay. We know that the 34 through you, of course, are filing an application for bail. What grounds are you putting up? Why do you think the court should listen to your plea?
You know, at this point in time, anybody who is accused is presumed innocent until proved otherwise, or until that person pleads guilty. And of course, an application for bail is a right under our constitution. It's just a bond that I'll appear in court. That's just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Counsel Caleb Balaka, one of the lawyers here, and as well Samuel Moizi. If I can just have a conversation with you, there has been this talk about lawyers involved in this case receiving a lot of threats and being intimidated allegedly by people within security ranks. Have you experienced anything like that?
Well, not personally, but it's not a new thing that has happened. We've seen it before when our offices have been ransacked in such cases. So when our colleagues tell us that their offices were ransacked, we cannot disbelieve them.
How does the nation get over issues is like that? You have a powerful association, the Law Society, and as well as the structures of the judiciary. Is there something that can be done about the way advocates, especially in politically sensitive cases, are handled?
Yeah, we've
especially in
often
politically
in times,
sensitive cases are handled?
Yeah, we've often in times when such matters happen, petitioned the necessary administration, that's the CJ and the Law Society. We've not really seen anything tangible out of our engagement on all occasions when we've been attacked in similar style.
Thank you very much, Samuel Maizi, one of the lawyers as well in this case, and of course the Honorable Asman, also one of the lawyers, still having a conversation right there. Also one of the lawyers, Simon, what we know is that we have seen a huge number of politicians and lawyers, and as well as other leaders from outside the West Nile region, and as well as from the Kampala area coming here to actually stand in solidarity with the Arua 34 as they have come to be known. But one thing I think the question we continue to ask is how the different people who were arrested and taken into custody by officers of the special forces and the different security agencies on their feet cannot now walk, they are limping, or they are on crutches, or they are in situations that are different from that in which they were arrested. I think that is the question a lot of us will be asking to the security chiefs. The last time they spoke to the media, none of them seems to be responding particularly to that question. And again, we know that the country has an anti-torture law, and probably somebody, either as an institution or individually, will need to respond to some of these concerns as we continue to ask the questions as the eyes and ears of society. Simon.
Well, I see prisons and police. Could there be military in the vicinity?
Well, if we go by the uniforms, Simon, we would say it is officers from the Uganda Prison Service and the Uganda Police. Again, if you have covered security operations in this country, you cannot come to conclusive, remarks about their status and the deployment issues regarding just the uniform. And so for now, we want to believe that based on the uniforms that we see, it is the officers of the Uganda Prison Service and the Uganda Police Force, because then we do not have a way of independently verifying the agencies that they belong to. Simon.
All right, Joseph, just shortly before we let you go, let's talk about the access to this court, and most especially for members of the public, but as well as journalists, because it doesn't seem to be one of the very spacious places. How is that being looked at, and how are the people who are accessing this place being screened?
Well, if I can just show you what it requires to access the courtroom now. The last time we were here during the process in which the Honorable Kasiano Wadri and the other 33, and then later the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi were charged before the Chief Magistrate's Court, it was easy to walk in and out. Now today, probably because of the numbers involved, there are a lot of people who may not get access to the courtroom because of space issues, and so we have a thorough screening process. There are security personnel actually checking, making sure that everyone who gets in is properly checked. And one of the lawyers here, the Honorable Medad Segona, just arriving. If you can just waste 3 minutes of your time.
No.
Yes.
I can't give you a minute. I have.
All right, we'll let him go right there, but he's joining his colleague lawyers right there to prepare for the hearing of the bail application. But he's one of the lawyers who has been here from the word go, Simon, and so we'll be looking forward to the application for bail at 9 a.m. this morning before the resident judge of the Gulu High Court, and then we'll be looking forward to seeing what the decision of the court will be after that.
Jeez. And there is some activity in the courtroom as we speak. You've given us the lawyers, you've given us some of the key political heads. Who else among the notables is in the courtroom?
Well, other than the people we are able to talk about, we'll be waiting for the arrival of the resident judge. Maybe if we can just take a walk in through the corridors to try to give you a situation. And I see someone probably very important to speak to here. He's on phone, but he speaks for the police in this area, Simon. And we had issues being raised about the way advocates are being treated. We had the allegations that one of the lawyers had his home actually raided in the middle of the night by security agencies. We will be looking forward to see if Afande Patrick Okema here can give us an idea. And now that he's off the phone, maybe we can just take up the conversation. A very good morning to you, Afande. You speak for the police in this region. There has been this conversation about armed people in boots raiding the homes of lawyers. A lot of people watching us live on NBS would want to ask, were those your men that attacked the home, that raided the home of Advocate Kilama?
Well, my brother Sabite, first of all, my name is Patrick Okema. By rank, I am Assistant Superintendent of Police, and I'm the Public Relations Officer for ASWA. Yes. Well, first of all, what I want the viewers to get to know is, as police, we have a very core mandate that we are provided for in the constitution of this country. I, for one, the council texts me a message at around 2200 hours, that's 10 in the night, that his home, there are policemen in his home. And he was trying to inquire what exactly the issue was. For example, I even have it here on my phone, which says, why is the police at my gate? KK, you know KK stands for Kumakate.
Yes.
Yeah. So I immediately told him, it gives me time, I inquire from the district police commander, which I did. I immediately called the district police commander and even went ahead and talked to the regional police commander. If at all there was anything in regards to that, or there is maybe some kind of operation. But indeed, these officers didn't share with me anything. They said there is nothing. And if at all there is anything, maybe there are people who could have come from elsewhere. But still, if there is any police people who could have come from outside Gulu, definitely they'll have to report to the district police commander of Gulu, which that one did not happen. So what happened now, the RPC shared with me that I talked to DPC and we should move to his place and confirm which are these people. Indeed, I was a distant and I shared this contact with the district police commander and immediately called the patrol team. And the patrol team were the other side of Peche division. You know, on a routine basis, we have patrols within and outside Gulu town and Gulu municipality. So immediately this team went to Kabedupong, where his home is, and they gave him a call on phone. And the council didn't pick. Instead, when he picked, he refused to give location of his place. But what is interesting, Sabiti, is that Honorable Kili Kumakate, who is the chairperson LC3 of Peche Division in Gulu here, happened to drop council at this place before that time. So immediately when council called him, Honorable Kumakate immediately moved to council's place together with one of the reporter for Radio Mega and Red Pepper. And with these guys went up to his gate and they gave him a call while at the gate. They said, Council, we are here at the gate. Can you come out and we see where these people we are talking about? There was completely nothing.
You're a security person. Would you have expected, you've just had people, unknown people outside your house. Would you come out like that? Is it even advisable in terms of security?
But if your real colleague comes and tells you, I am at your gate, would you still doubt? Would you still doubt that there is somebody here or not? Because he went ahead and said, no, these people are there, they're in my compound. But Honorable Kelly was at the gate of his place. You get the point? So completely that gives us a lot of thinking that where could be the issue and what is the interest or what is the motive behind this allegation. This is purely allegation. So immediately that when Kumakate called me that Mr. Okema, PRO, I've just been from Henry's place. There is completely nothing. Maybe council is just having some fear in him. So we made contacts and we shared this information. But I started seeing it on social media and all that. So it gave us a lot of thinking that...
How is police handling that? because it is your core mandate to protect life and property. Definitely someone involved in a very politically sensitive case has raised issue. What has been done by police so far?
Sabiti, first of all, this is quite sensitive. But why wouldn't he cooperate with the police? Having gone up to the area around his place, we did not know exactly his home, but we moved up to the place called Kabedupong, you get. Then gave him a call that please give us the location of your place. This is extremely, this is something which we have failed to understand. Why has council come out? Is it because maybe maybe
he doesn't trust the system that much?
Which system?
The one you work for.
No. I don't think that is the issue. Because you cannot just come from the blue and say my home is seized. You get the point? Having even told us, we made initiative and moved up to there. And why didn't he tell us, you people, my place is around this place, come, and we confirm. And there was nothing. But I was told if the whole of the honorable colleagues of him who represent the people of Peche went and confirmed. In fact, I wish you find time and even move up to that gentleman so that you really confirm and hear from him. Yes, that is exactly what happened. But of course, once an issue of this nature comes, as police, we are duly mandated by the constitution of this country to protect life and properties. It is within our mandate to make follow-up on this matter, and we find out, first of all, we should know the motive. Why has council come out open like this and tells us his home is under siege? It is something which is unusual. It has never come out. It has never happened before. But why would he come at this moment? Is it because he's involved in the proceedings of the suspects from Arua? This is something which we should understand. Or is he buying favor? Is he trying to sell himself to Ugandans or to the entire nation that he's around? He can be tagged, he can be approached. This is something that we should, because my brother, anybody can think along some line. This is not the first time we're getting some of this.
It's also not the first time people's homes have been raided, yes. and the military has denied, the police has denied later for suspects to emerge in the hands of police, later to actually find out that it's police officers or security agencies involved in some of these operations.
Sabit, let me share with you. Before, still within our region, I strictly speak for Asoa region, yeah? Sometimes back we had one of the candidate contestants in Omoro, who even came out open that he has been kidnapped. I think you followed that matter. But later, where did the issue end? Okay. It was absolutely wrong. And why should somebody come out with this? I think it is upon us to start looking at this kind of people seriously, because these are people who want to cause either panic or fear to the Ugandans. Because if you come out like this, we think you are somebody who has a motive. I can share with you, 2 days ago we had...
Okay, if you can just summarize, yes.
Yeah, we just had a talk show on one of the radio stations talking about fake news. You get my point. Fake news, this could be an individual or a group of people who can come out and make statements which are not true, but all that could be in regards to fulfill the obligation or motive they have. So could it be council have some motive? This is something that we should also take in mind and find out and understand more. We are not going to leave this as it is say. As you're aware, my deputy police spokesperson, Superintendent of Police Patrick Onyango, yesterday immediately came out with a statement in regards to that. Okay. And we are following this matter closely, and we want council to come and give us a statement and share with us more about this allegation he's trying to bring. But I want to assure Ugandans that as police, we are committed to providing security to every Ugandan. We do not segregate. We don't say security is for this particular group of people.
Thank
it's
you. Thank you.
for everybody.
All right. Thank you, Afande. Patrick Okema, spokesperson Aswa Region, Uganda Police Force, right here, commenting on the issues raised by one of the advocates in the Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu case, whose home was allegedly raided by security personnel in the middle of the night. Time for the topical discussion. Simon Kagwanjala will be speaking to the president of Uganda Law Society. But if I can just start you off as Simon, the gentleman I've just been talking to here has has given his comments about the events that characterized what happened to the advocate. Does the Uganda Law Society have more information or something contrary to what the police is saying? Do they think their member is raising a legitimate concern? And what can they tell the country about what makes the situation extremely serious? Maybe we can start off the top court discussion from there, Simon.
Great question, and I think it will trigger off the kind of discussion that we're going to have, more to do with the state of law in the country in the midst of all this that is happening. And with me is one of the paragons of justice, Counsel Simon Peter Chinobe, the president of Uganda Law Society.